Shivaya. Namaste Narashimaya. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bo, Murtpare Krishna Bhutri, Shivara Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani, Namaste Saraswati Deva Gurvani, Manacharina Nirvishisha Shunavani Paschatadishta. Why don't you take the other mic? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Saturasata Shishimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asaturasata Shishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Gaura Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadi Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Krus Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Vistaya Bhutari Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Ramane Namaste Saraswati Deva Guru Vani Vrachari Nandin Vishesha Shunavali Paschartadishtari. Hare Krishna, dear friends, please write Hare Krishna into the comment section right now. Don't be shy, don't hesitate, don't worry, don't be in anxiety. Just chant Hare Krishna, write Hare Krishna. Yeah, so who's watching?
Frank is back,
Frank is back.
Dr. Void says all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Right.
Narasingh Rao, Doris,
Hare Krishna.
Bhishanath Das, Shamdai Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Who else is here with us? Ram Lakshman Prabhu.
Jai.
Lucia, Paramatma Das Prabhu.
Naramatma Prabhu, yes. South Africa.
South Africa all the way, Haribo. And on TikTok, we have Susan.
Susan, Hare Krishna, Susan.
We have many people already challenging. We have Gul Dukoshi. He comes very often. He very much hates the Muslims.
Oh.
He's challenging all the Muslims.
Oh boy.
And he also thanked all the Muslims. He says, Jai Shri Ramadan to all the Muslims. Glad you're fasting for Lord Ram. That's very nice. And who else is here with us? Inesh also says, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada. Where are you from, Ines? Sounds Croatian, Slovenian, no?
Not the way how it's written.
Uh-huh.
I'll be like Ines. Inesh Das, yeah. There's Tony.
Tony
Gotzel.
Hare Krishna, Tony. I missed you.
And Gabriela.
Gabriela, Hare Krishna, Gabriela. Thank you for the message. And did you write to Gabriela?
Yeah, we've arranged
Very
tomorrow.
good.
And Ganesha Ganapati is there also on Facebook.
Ganesha, Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from the Bhagavad-gita as it is, chapter 7, text 17. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta
Yesham Jnanim Nityam Yuktam
Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate
Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate
Priyo Hi Jnanino Tiyartham
Priyo Hi Jnanino Tiyartham
Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha
Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta
Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta
Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate
Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate
Priyo Hi Jnanino Tiyartham
Priyo Hi Jnanino Tiyartham
Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha
Aham Sacha Mama Priyaha Tesham.
Tesham
Out of them,
out of them
Jnani,
Jnani
one in full knowledge,
one in full knowledge
Nitya Yuktaha,
Nitya Yuktaha
always engaged,
always engaged
Eka,
Eka
only one,
only one
Bhaktihi,
Bhakti
devotional service,
devotional service
Vishishyate,
Vishishyate
especially,
especially
Priyaha,
Priyaha
very dear,
very dear
He,
He
certainly,
certainly
Jnaninaha,
Jnaninaha
person in knowledge,
person in knowledge
Atyartham,
Atyartam
highly,
highly
Aham,
Aham
I am,
I am
Saha,
Saha
he, Cha,
Cha
also,
also
Mama,
Mama
mine,
mine
Priyaha,
Priyaha
dear.
dear
Translation. Of these, the wise one who is in full knowledge in union with me through pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai
Free from all contaminations of material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the four orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body. And when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of God is so protected in devotional service that material contaminations cannot touch him. Om Agyantirinandasya Jnana Jana Shalakayam Chakshunanmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto His lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai
Srila Prabhupada said that this chanting, Hare Krishna chanting, will keep you always happy. And reading of my books will always keep you convinced. So both are required. If you're convinced, but you're not happy in Krishna consciousness, then what is the value of your conviction? This Krishna consciousness Krishna declares to be susukam, full of bliss. Tasyanticha ramanticha. The devotees, they enlighten one another about Krishna, about the science of Krishna consciousness. So there must be bliss. But if we're not convinced, if we simply carried away by some sentiment, then that will also not last. So both must be there. Just like religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is fanaticism. And the other extreme is philosophy without religion, without faith, without devotional service. That is simply mental speculation. The impersonalists, they approach the transcendental subject matters by using their imperfect speculation. So from the very beginning, their whole process is wrong. The materialistic scientists, same thing. They try to contemplate, they try to understand the transcendental subject of Krishna consciousness and consciousness in general by using material mind, material senses, material intelligence. See, so sometimes this Krishna consciousness is misunderstood as fanaticism. Because we say this is the only way to understand Krishna, through this parampara system. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasa vidu se kalanaya mata yoganashta parantapa. This line of disciplic succession. If we do not follow this disciplic succession, then we deviate. Sa kalanaya mata yoganashta parantapa. This science of Krishna consciousness, yoga, this is a yoga. Yoga means to link up ourselves with the Supreme Absolute Truth. It'll become spoilt. It can become spoiled very easily. Srila Prabhupada says that one should not bring material concepts into spiritual advancement. This happens very often. We have some motivation and we want to justify that material desire by using Krishna consciousness. Even Arjuna did this. Srila Prabhupada, he mentions in the third or the fifth chapter. These chapters are connected to the topic of karma yoga. So Arjuna did not want to fight. And he wanted to use Krishna consciousness as an excuse. I was reading the other day a quote from Srila Prabhupada. Someone was asking, some disciple was asking that we have this one devotee in our temple and he doesn't do any service. He just reads the whole day. So first Srila Prabhupada says that is also service. Don't think that reading is not service. That is the most important service. One who hears well, preaches well. His preaching becomes very effective. If you want to be a good preacher, you must be a good hearer. But then Prabhupada says that unless one renders practical service, whatever we hear will not be assimilated. You see, so if he reads 24 hours, like Rupa Goswami, then of course that is highly elevated devotional service. Such a devotee should not be disturbed. But if he's going and reading, and then you open the door and there's sleeping going on, that is simply using Krishna consciousness and reading as an excuse to indulge in sense gratification. So that should be stopped. Krishna chastises Arjuna. He says, one who is contemplating the sense on the outside, he appears to be renounced, but on the inside, he's contemplating objects of the senses. He's called a pretender. Pretender. Such a person cannot make any advancement because he's cheating himself and cheating others also. So, not like that. We must engage in practical activity. Here in the Bhagavad-gita, Arjuna was encouraged by Krishna to fight in this war. He was a Kshatriya. It was his dharma to fight, and he wanted to give it up most artificially, simply based on some sentiment. That is why Krishna explained this science to him. Bhagavad-gita is the greatest theistic science. The word Bhagavat means God, and Gita means a song. This is the song of God. This is how the parampara disciplic succession starts, with God. God cannot be covered by any material imperfection. Whatever God is transcendental, and whatever He says remains transcendental also. Nor are the acharyas, conditioned souls like us, the members of this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, are all pure devotees. So through them, this transcendental science passes through and it reaches us. This is a transcendental sound. It is not an ordinary sound. Even if one does not understand the sound acts, just like someone might not understand the meaning of the Maha Mantra, but when we go out and we chant in the street, we see that so many people are joining in our Sankirtan. Why? Because the holy name acts on the transcendental platform. It goes straight to the soul. So that's what we need. And if we do not render devotional service, then that knowledge also will be misunderstood. It will be just like licking the outside of the bottle of honey. It is undoubtedly honey. Srila Prabhupada's purports are honey, nectar. And the shlokas, those are the direct words that Krishna uttered 5,000 years ago. And they're as meaningful today as they were 5,000 years ago, to all of us. So these are nectarian, but if we cover them with our interpretations, motivations, motivated, motive-fueled misinterpretations, then that transcendental potency will be lost. Srila Prabhupada says that again you become like an ordinary man. Now, by virtue of following the great transcendental Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you are also imperceptibly liberated. Simply by the virtue of engaging in this Krishna consciousness movement, you're getting imperceptibly liberated. But if we misinterpret, then the potency is lost. And that will be seen by stronger attachment to material sense gratification. That is the symptom. As soon as we see someone is showing symptoms of mundane attachment to mundane things, we can immediately conclude that he has decreased his advancement in spiritual sense. His Krishna consciousness is decreased. So one must also render service, and by rendering service to a pure devotee, one develops an attraction to hear from a pure devotee. See, we have no attraction. We do so many things, but no attraction for hearing. So many things we're doing. So many things are important. At the time of death, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, what to speak of sex life. You cannot even defend yourself when death comes. All you can do is think. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajyatenti kalevanam tam tameva iti kontaya sadatad bhava bhavitaha. Your consciousness will be the only thing that you will have at a time of death. So if we're not working on our consciousness, if we're not hearing regularly, this should be done nitya. Nityam bhagavata sevaya. It should be constant hearing. But if you cannot do constant, then at least come for the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad-gita classes. If you do not come, you don't expect that you're going to think of Krishna anytime soon. The materialistic mind immediately takes over and you think of nonsense, sense gratification. Sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish transcendental sound from the mundane sound. Srila Sanatana Goswami, he says that just like milk turns into poison by the touch of a lip of a snake, similarly the nectarian Harikatha, the discussion about Krishna's science or Krishna's pastimes, turns into poison when spoken by Avaishnavas. Avaishnav. What is an Avaishnav? Avaishnava means that he is attracted to women, Stri Sangi. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he chastised his father, his pure devotee father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said, you are Stri Sangi because you married twice. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's first wife, she passed away. So then he married another wife. So there was nothing wrong with it. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so strict that he even chastised his own father. He said, you are Stri Sangi. So of course he was not a Stri Sangi. But Avaishnava is a Stri Sangi. He is attached to especially materialistic women. Materialistic women, they want sense gratification as much as possible. So he engages in working very hard to satisfy the whims of such a materialistic woman. And when we ask him, please can you give 1 penny for Krishna? He will refuse. He said, oh, you want so much? For Krishna, you want so much from me, 1 penny? Oh my God, you're so greedy. So that's a Stri Sangi, an Asat Sangi. We should avoid Asat Sanga Tyag, Evaishnavachar. If one is associating with non-devotees, then he is also a non-devotee. We should be careful. And if such a person is talking about Krishna, he is simply confusing us. He is teaching us something that is mundane in the name of Krishna consciousness. So, person who is after knowledge, but at the same time he is serving Krishna, he is also practically engaging in devotional service, he is the most dear to Krishna. The most dear. So we should all endeavor to become the most dear to Krishna. If you love Krishna, of course you want to be the dearest. You must be ambitious in this sense. Krishna also says, the one who's preaching this message, he is the dearest. So Krishna has given so many hints how we can become His dearest. So we should pick up the clues and follow these instructions. Srila Prabhupada left behind all these nice books. We should read them and we should understand. And please note, Prabhupada says, even in the preliminary, he says, preparatory stage, one is in full knowledge. What does it mean, full knowledge? Well, he understands that our constitutional position in relationship with Krishna is that of a servant. He understands this scientifically. Yes, I should serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupaye. Nitya Krishna Das. Lord Chaitanya also confirms. That is your original form, Swarupa. Servant of Krishna. So, if we understand this, if we serve nicely Krishna, and we understand the science, even in the preparatory stage, Srila Prabhupada says that we will be protected from material contaminations. The material contaminations will not be able to touch us. So another hint, those who are intelligent, they immediately picking up the hint. Oh, this is how I can practice Krishna consciousness without any fall down. You see, there are sometimes accidental fall downs. So that Krishna, of course, he excuses. To err is human. But simultaneously, Srila Prabhupada is leading us to a path where there doesn't have to be an accidental fall down. So if we're negligent, if we do not even come to the class, then that is not sincerity. That means that we have a motive in Krishna consciousness. And as soon as we have some motive, and if the motive is fulfilled, then we leave Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness, goodbye, kiss goodbye. Just like there was this boy here, he was very serious, he was chanting here, japa with us, and the next thing you know, he's gone. It can be also gone. Don't take it for granted, Krishna consciousness. As soon as your desires change, nobody will be able to keep you here or watching, or keep you watching the live stream. Immediately, Maya snatches. Daivi esa gunamayi mama maya duratiya mamevai prapadyante mayam idam tarantite. Only when you surrender to Krishna, then Maya will leave you alone. Up until that point, Maya will always test you. So if you understand this, if you assimilate this point, we're servants. Krishna is not our servant. We are Krishna's servants. The material contamination will not be able to touch you. So all these books, all this knowledge is simply to explain this one point. You are Jivera Swarupai Nitya Krishna Das. Nitya Krishna Das, eternal servant of Krishna. Not that we serve Krishna for a little while, and then when we get our dream, when our dream comes true, then we kick out Krishna. That is not devotional service. That is business. That is dangerous. That is why so many people gave up God, because this science was not introduced to them. They don't even know what is our relationship with God. They don't know how to serve Him, nothing. They're simply using Him and asking things that will prolong their material existence, their samsara. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. Even it may take many, many creations and destructions of these material universes until we come to our senses. So it is a very rare opportunity. We should study these books, become real jnanis. Those who realize the philosophy, they can also explain it very nicely. And in this way, become dear to Krishna. He is dear to me. Mama priyaha. very dear to me. So, any questions?
There was a last question before. Is Krishna God?
Yes.
Solarhead is wondering if you can share your favorite teaching from the Bhagavad-gita.
Everything is favorite teaching. This is absolute knowledge. There is no better or worse. Take the whole thing. There was a farmer and he had a hen, he had a chicken. So the head of the chicken was taking grain, he had to pay. And the bottom of the chicken was giving eggs. So he was very happy with the eggs, but he didn't like to feed the hen the grain because it was very costly. So in his foolish mind, he decided to cut off the head of the chicken. But what happened is that after the chicken got his head cut off, then the chicken died. And there was no egg either. So you must take the Bhagavad-gita as a whole, not to pick one passage and then stick with that only. There is no favorite. We should look for the Siddhanta, not at all favorite. This is like foolish people who are attracted to the flowery, they're attracted to the poisonous fruits of trees. You know, there's some trees that have these poisonous fruits. They look like cherries and you eat it and you're dead.
Yeah.
So don't read the Bhagavad-gita like that. It's not a sense gratification book. You read it from cover to cover. And look for the Siddhanta. Siddhanta means conclusion. That is given at the end of the Bhagavad-gita. Krishna says, Saradharma parityaja mamekam sharanam brajam antvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion. Simply surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is the essence. It's not that my favorite or your favorite. Take the essence, do it. This is a science. Just like mathematics, it's a science. All the equations must be followed very strictly, otherwise the final conclusion does not come correctly. Next.
How can you prove that Krishna is God?
What proof you want? What proof would satisfy you? You're blind. You have imperfect senses. Your mind is so small. And Krishna is unlimited, the absolute truth. So what is the process? How you can grasp this concept?
He says miracles.
What miracle? Then you want to be cheated. Any damn rascal, fool, magician can show you some miracle and you accept him as God. Just see how you want to. Dangerous. You're in a dangerous position, my friend. You can be cheated very easily. I warn you. You're in a very precarious, dangerous position. Anytime some cheater can cheat you very easily. Miracles, that's for foolish people. You should understand by knowledge. Get knowledge. Knowledge is real, substantial, not miracles. What? See, you take the cell phone, you go back in time, you show the cell phone to the people in the 19th century, they will say, oh, miracle.
Now he's wondering, do you think then Jesus cheated people?
Jesus, he had to use miracles because people at the time were very low class, yes. Otherwise, why they crucified him? You think that's a very intelligent person? Such a saintly personality as Lord Jesus Christ. He came to deliver them, and they're putting him on a cross, killing him. You think they were very intelligent people? They're fools. First-class fools. So for the first-class fools, yeah, he had to show some miracles to attract them. But that was not the essence of his teaching. The essence of his teaching was, just like here, Krishna says, surrender everything and love God.
Kimberly is wondering, so Jesus was then higher class, or were they all stupid?
Jesus was certainly higher class. Otherwise, why is he saying on the cross, please forgive them. Oh my Lord, please forgive them for what they're doing. They're killing him, and he's asking, please forgive them. Isn't that the most wonderful personality? But unfortunately, we don't follow Lord Jesus Christ. Nobody follows. Those who claim to be Christians, they don't follow. Here in the Western countries, nobody follows Jesus Christ. All rascals, all meat eaters, prostitute hunters, rascals, violent, killing for no reason, and then coming to church, oh, I'm a Christian. So we don't respect that sort of cheating religion. That is pretending. That is cheating. If you're following Jesus Christ, you follow his teachings. Next.
So who is Jesus?
Okay, this is not a Christian broadcast. If you want to discuss Jesus, you go. There's so many Christian channels. We're discussing Bhagavad-gita. We're not going to now divert to Jesus Christ. We give all praise to Jesus Christ, but here we're discussing Bhagavad-gita. So don't disturb. Don't try to hijack. You learn. I know so much about Jesus Christ. You know nothing about Bhagavad-gita. You come here, so here. I can teach you about your Jesus Christ. You know nothing. So you learn from me also. This is a knowledgeable person will learn from the others. Not that simply pushing my limited knowledge. Next.
I'm afraid TikTok is only able to ask in such a foolish way, but Mrs. Mataji,
No foolish questions.
Yeah, Mataji Gabriela
Yes.
has a comment. That's okay.
Yes.
She says, you mentioned that importance of attending the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita class. There are communities where the spiritual leaders require a physical presence to such classes. However, it is difficult for a Grihasta who has little children and also challenging profession to attend in person and to stay 2 hours in traffic. I wanted to express my gratitude that through your lessons, you allow such Grihastas to attend these important lessons.
Well, I sent you this quote before, Gabriela. Prabhupada says very clearly that one should not associate physically. Prabhupada says the exact opposite. These devotees, they say one should associate physically. But Prabhupada says one should not associate physically. He should associate through discussion, logic, arguments. This is stated in the 3rd canto. So they don't study Prabhupada's books thoroughly. What is the most important? The warmth of our bodies or the teachings that we discuss? That's what I was saying. There's a transcendental teaching and they try to make it mundane. We're learning from the very beginning, you are not this body, you're not a physical person, you're a spirit soul, you're transcendental. And they say, no, you need the body. Contradiction. So don't be discouraged. If you're hearing, it's okay. It's as good as being physically present. What's the difference? Okay, anything else?
There's a nice question here on TikTok that relates somehow to
nice questions, we appreciate.
Yes. Here's one. Rush Singh is asking, can you tell how and when you become enlightened into Hare Krishna?
It's like learning mathematics. 2 + 2 is 4. Right? You learn this at one point in your life as a small child? You took 2 apples, then you took another 2 apples, you counted them together, 4. You have become enlightened. So similarly, the first teaching of Bhagavad-gita is that you are not this body. And how do we understand this? How Krishna explains this? He explains this very nicely. In the past, you had the body of a child. Now you have a body of a grown-up man or a woman. And in the future, you will have a body of an old person. So although the body is replaced, reincarnation, we're reincarnating from baby body to an old body. This is reincarnation. You are not changed. You are the observer of the change. And that's the soul, that's the spirit soul. We are eternal. So it is not such a big thing. As soon as you understand this, I am spirit soul, I am eternal, that's the beginning of your enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. Okay?
Kimberly is wondering, did you have a religious experience? Like, did you feel Hare Krishna?
So if I say yes, how is it going to benefit you? You take up this process and try it out, that you also feel. Why are you asking? You have felt? Suppose someone has sex life. Okay? So he has sex life, he has sex pleasure. Are you asking, you had sex pleasure? How does it feel? It's a rather crude example, please forgive me, but it's relatable. Because sex pleasure is the highest pleasure in this world. So everybody gets his own experience. So try to chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and see for yourself. It's not a belief, it's not something mumbo jumbo. Chant Hare Krishna, you will see how your consciousness gets purified. How good you will feel. This is an open invitation to everyone. It doesn't cost any money. Simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Try it out. Chant as much as you can, day and night. I used to chant. When I started reading the Bhagavad-gita, I was a student. I was studying art. And whenever I was going to school, in a bus, I would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare, constantly. And I saw my life has changed so much. I had given up all bad habits, drugs, sex, illicit sex, girlfriend, this, that, meat. These are stifling our consciousness. So many dirty things we have in the mind, so that we cannot breathe spiritually. You must breathe, you must open up. Krishna consciousness is so blissful, God is so blissful. But our consciousness is covered by all these attachments. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that breaks all these attachments. You get special empowerment from Krishna. This is the power of transcendental sound. It's a transcendental vibration. It is not a made-up mantra. Okay?
What does it mean, the mantra? Two of them are wondering this.
Hare is the energy of God. And Krishna means God, the supreme controller. Rama is the transcendental pleasure we feel when we're in connection with Krishna, with God. So we're activating all these aspects, the energy of God, the God controller, and the spiritual pleasure. All these are activated when we chant Hare Krishna.
Okay. Let me just check other live streams.
YouTube?
Yeah. There's 6 viewers on YouTube. Very nice. Jim Kahn is saying, Jesus went to India to learn some tricks. What good is a miracle? It's good for his ego, but what good is it for me? That's referring to the TikTok questions.
We don't disrespect Lord Jesus Christ. He is empowered incarnation.
One person is, sorry.
Son of God. We don't disrespect Jesus.
CC23 on TikTok is wondering, why do you look sad if you're at one with peace?
What do you understand about sadness? The gopis, they're crying for Krishna, but they're experiencing the highest pleasure. And why you are looking at me? Well, I'm not a perfect devotee. Look at Srila Prabhupada, smiling. When Srila Prabhupada smiles, it is so nice. Oceanic, the ocean of bliss floods you when Srila Prabhupada is smiling, our spiritual master. I'm not a spiritual master. I'm nothing. Don't look at me. Look at Srila Prabhupada. Okay, can we
Let's go.
conclude?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your questions or for participation, for listening. And please join us again. We have this every day, morning and evening. You're very much welcome. And those who are asking about the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you please kindly make an experiment. Chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rantaraj Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari 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 Bol. Namo Vishnu Paraya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutri, Srimad Bhakti-Vedanta, Swamini Vinamane Namaste Saraswati Deva Guruvani Vracharina Vishesha Shunamari Bhacharishtaride.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. London time. Don't be late. We're going to be chanting like crazy.